stimulus goes through, of course, I cannot support it because of so many of the factors in it that I think are wrong. I think the tax cuts are not properly targeted. I think the spending is too big on non-stimulative areas. I would want to bring up other areas of spending like military construction. However, if Texas makes the decision to turn it down, even if it passes, it would be a huge mistake. The highway funding in the stimulus is according to the formula for the Highway Trust Fund, which means Texas would get the largest share, and it's approximately $2.8 billion that would come to Texas without any grant proposal having to be a part of the factor. It will absolutely be $2.8 billion that would be sitting on the desk, left untaken by Texas, which many other states would love to grab, but it would not be right when we have so many needs for transportation in Texas.
Senator, could you speak to the resignation of Robert Rolling from UTIMCO? This is obviously one of your supporters.
Robert Rolling is one of the finest people I know. He's a person who has built a national company, and he's kept the headquarters in Texas, created about 10,000 jobs. I think it is so important that when people volunteer their time in our state government, even if there is a disagreement about substance, that we would treat them well. So I'm very sorry that the University of Texas is going to lose his services. He's been a great advocate and leader on the Board of Regents, and it's really a loss for Texas.
Do you think he was treated unfairly?
I think the letter that was written the night before the hearing was not well thought out, and I think it might have spurred some insensitive remarks that were made, and I think that it was kind of a setup, and I think it's wrong.
He seemed to feel like it was partly because he's supporting you for governor. Did you read that into the letter?
I think the setup was partly a payback. I do. He thinks so too, and I think that's unfortunate. You know, there are people that are going to support him that I'm going to help if it's good for Texas, and I think that's what all of us should do.
Are you comfortable with the UTIMCO paying those bonuses?
According to what I have read, it was a contract, and I think that there are two factors here. I can't go down into the details because I don't know the details, but if we had a contract, the state of Texas or the University of Texas is going to adhere to a contract, and we should. Secondly, I know from past experience with UTIMCO that it has been important to recruit the best people because this is the University of Texas Trust Fund. It is what gives us the permanent university fund expenditures. And to get people in this field who are the best to manage that fund is an important component of running UTIMCO correctly. So I think that we have to factor in everything, and I think what probably happened here is that a number of people might not have known all the facts before they fired off a letter that might not have been very responsible.
What do you say to this talk that some of the supporters that you released aren't actually supporting you?
We have documentation of all of our supporters, and I do believe that everyone on our list is supporting me.
Let's have one last question.
You voted for the bank bailout, but you're going to vote against something that at least Democrats consider a bailout for regular folks. How do you explain that in just lay terms, that you voted for the banks, but you're going to vote against the Democratic package?
Well, that's not lay terms. That's press terms. I will just say that the first thing is the original package was brought to us, we cut it in half because we wanted to see how it would work. I did not think it was working the way it should because the money didn't get out to small business people around the country. It didn't do anything to help the housing market. It didn't shore up the financial institutions so that they would loan. And from that point until I see much more of a strategy that will work for small businesses and the people who are trying to stay in their homes, I have not supported the second part of the bank bailout, and I will not support this because I think that it is a price tag that is too high, and we will pay the price down the road for the potential of inflation. And I think we need to step back right now and have an overall strategy that fixes housing, that fixes the financial markets so that money gets out into the small businesses and the homeowners in our country that are the ones that are suffering right now, so that they will create jobs and we will get the economy going again. And I don't think we should be passing a spending stimulus until we know what is going to be necessary to help the housing industry and the financial markets that do get out into the mainstream of America.